him basically outlining the whole season, like
Yes.
not even the whole season, like through season 3, and I had never been in a meeting like that. I'm like, oh my God, he has like this world figured out, he's figured out all the rules, he's figured out everything. And then I watched episode 2 when it aired, and like nothing made sense.
Yeah. Well, there's also though the changes you make yourself out of inspiration, things that you're liking, things you're not liking, the way they're coming out when you film them, the way they come out when they edit them, the way the audience feels about them. But also, it's just, executives not letting you do things.
Which is why in the middleman we got to do the show we wanted to do, because no one watched it, so the executives were like, keep going.
Also because, with ABC Family, to piggyback on that, it's like they let, we would be like, okay, we're going to have a half dozen little people in astronaut suits and with hand tools breaking the place up. And they're like, great, is Wendy's hair going to be pretty? And we're like, yes, and we'll send you photos and you can approve all the costumes. And they're like, yeah, have all the little people in spacesuits. They were awesome that way. And in fact, the weirder the stories got, the more they were like, yeah, go ahead.
I will say, working on Walking Dead, we were on ABC with Flash Forward, broadcast networks are notoriously a little more handsy than cable networks, and there's even more pressure in some ways if you don't have limitations. It's the writer's room, and we're all trying to do a great job, and we know that no one's really going to stop us but ourselves. And it's a very weird thing. On Flash Forward, I would say a lot of those plans change just because of executives.
We had nothing but limitations on the middleman, because if you saw that clip, like, our series finale was 3 people in a room, and you guys blew up Bombay.
Yeah.
We have a young woman who turns into a slightly older woman.
It was amazing to see the budgetary latitude there. It was astounding. Even when I was
Thank you for the face-saving turn of a phrase.
Yeah. I will say, watching that, I was like, oh my God, that's expensive. It was late at night. I wasn't cognizant of that when we were filming it. Anyways, we have like 9 minutes left. If you have questions, by all means, ask them. Let's do this. Yes, and say your name, please.
I'm Katie.
You're Katie. You might just want to shout.
Me, Katie.
Hi.
She's winning again.
I'm Katie. This is a question for Andrew, and I will avoid spoilers, but the person who became the head, who turned out to be the head of Rasa, is that always the plan, or was that sort of like we got to rush it so we're going to pick this person?
Always the plan, no, but it was a nice improvise. And I mean, we maybe about 5 or 6 episodes to get that going, but yeah.
Thank you, Katie.
You just made me think one thing about limitations imposed by networks. That's the good thing about heading towards cancellation, is oftentimes they just stop caring.
Yes. Yes, they do get those. When the notes calls start getting shorter, you have every reason to panic.
There's actually 2 truths in that statement. One, when you know a show is ending, it gets a lot better.
Yeah.
Because you start writing for the fences. You just,
Well, but you also don't have
We're
like
not
personal
telling the
coverage.
story.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And also, when an actor finds out they're going to die, all of a sudden they act their little hearts out. If you'd shown us this in the last 20 episodes, you wouldn't be dying.
Yes, sir.
Hello, I'm Sunil, and I love all the shows you presented here, but when people read the description, I know somebody said, I wish someone from Sarah Connor Carnival was there. And we do have something. So please, Ian, what can you tell us?
What would you like to know?
What happened there?
Well, I will say, Josh Friedman, our amazing creator, he is very sort of tight-lipped, but doesn't want to spoil too much. But I will say that what we set up in the second season finale of John Connor in the Future War, seeing him in an alternate timeline where no one knows who he is and he has to ascend the ranks and become the John Connor that we know. You had John Henry, the Terminator, who's become fully sentient, also running around. And
In that
that,
same timeline?
what's up?
In that same timeline?
Yeah, in the same timeline. And then there's also the question of what happened to Sarah Connor. You know, is she in an alternate timeline running around in the future? Did she die? So all that, and also John's relationship with Allison, the human counterpart that Cameron, the Terminator, is based on, would be a big part of it as well.
I would have ended that show that they find this hatch and they open it and decide it's Morpheus and Neo. And they're like, thank God you're here, we need your help. And Neo's like, what? I just did this.
That was pitched.
Hi, I'm Brian. I was wondering, when the series gets canceled, how well do you think it works moving to another medium like Dollhouse to the comic books or Firefly to the movie Serenity?
Middleman as well.
Middleman fan fiction.
Read my knee.
It's a little weird.
A little weird, yeah. You know, with the Middleman, the story of the cancellation of the Middleman is this. We were approximately $5,000 over budget per episode. At CBS, they built me a statue for that. At ABC Family, it meant that they had to not make one of their pilots. So they basically said, look, you know, there's about $100,000 in overages in the season. You can do the series finale, which Hans Beimler and I had already scripted, but you have to do it in 6 days. And their shows probably shoot in 8 days with maybe an extra day of second unit. We were shooting 7 days, and we could barely get the 3 people in the room, and it was going to be the first TV episode I ever directed. And I was like, no. Thank you, we're good. So we added an additional day of shooting to the last episode, made it a little fancier, and then out of our wrap budget, we put some money aside so we could do the comic book. And you know, the comic book is much grander in scope. It's got everything. It's got the kangaroos that shoot missiles out of their mouths, and we were able to do that. So for us, it worked out really well. You know.
Just moving to lightning round now, because we have like 2 minutes. So.
I have a very quick middleman question, and Lisa, by the way. Thank you very much, first of all, for the cast read of episode 13.
Oh.
Do you think the show would have survived longer if it was not on ABC Family, because it didn't seem a good match for us?
No. The show. You know, look. Don't be sad it ended. Be happy it happened. 12 good ones are better than 100 crappy compromised ones. Absolutely.
I'm sorry, other people in line, they just cut us off, but thank you. This would be the last question. Lots of pressure.
That's the pressure. I was just wondering, so it seems like a lot of sci-fi genre shows, either it ended too soon or fans hate the ending. And I was just wondering if any of you have a favorite ending of a genre show.
That's a great ending question. Yeah, okay, now the pressure's on us. You know what? A great genre ending, though it's very dim in my mind, and Javier, I expect you to keep me honest on this, because you really have been the geek ombudsman here. Next Generation.
I actually look at it as the canonical ending of all Star Trek. It's a better movie than certainly the movies they made afterwards, and it's beautiful. All good things is beautiful.
You have no idea how much it pleases me that you agree. Because
I have to